My name is Maria Carolina F. Cruz. I'm 45 years old. I was born in Valladolid, Negros Occidental, but I grew up in San Enrique, and I was also able to stay for a year with my grandparents in Silay City. I am a college professor. There are 6 of us in the family. My father is a government employee. My mother is a public school teacher. The 4 of us siblings studied in a public school. And as far as I can remember, we have transferred residence 5 times. I had not much involvement in environmental activities when I was young, but I can clearly recall how the environment was. So, there was no electricity yet. Our light was kinki or mitsa in dialect. And then when it is 6 p.m., I would see plenty of pot-ipot in dialect. No, that would serve as our light, especially when I go home from my aunt's house where my mother used to leave us when she would go to school and teach. Air was fresh. What we eat is just around us. We pick the fruits, vegetables, berries. We were renting houses for like 3 times na in Bacolod before we were able to have our own house in Handumanan. When we were in Handumanan, it was a different environment because that place was converted from sugarcane field to residential houses. I was able to experience gathering manure, animal manure like carabao, feces to be made as fertilizer. That's when I experienced making plots and then plant vegetables and also harvest palay, and then in dialect we call it nalinas, no, to separate the stalk from the grain. That's where I experienced those things. Then we would go to sugarcane field to get tubo and then eat pang-us tubo. We would also be getting like its flowers, bilao in dialect, that is to be made as a Christmas decor. We were just drinking water from a deep well. The environment has changed when squatters area from different parts of Bacolod were transferred to Handumanan. But it is very much different from how it was before, when everything was still pristine. It was not as polluted as it is now. It was not as populated as it is now. When you go from one barangay to another, masakay ka pa sa baruto. It's because wala pa to saya bridges, no? From one place to another with travel, you would see plenty of trees along the street. The river was not polluted. Madagdag ka sa tubig, pwede ka lang nakapaligo, and you would see the fishes. Now I can clearly recall all of those things because I don't get to see them now. See that people before were conscious and concerned about the environment, because back in my childhood days, clearly recall ko lang gadya pisan maninlo sa palibot, not just within the household but sa ugsaran, damo tanom, subong nag-uso mo ng plants, no? Damo kahoy, damo fruit trees. Speaking, since people from Purok 1 to 12 would know each other, hinablang mamangkot ka di ng balay ni amo ni taga dito na sila do kilala anay tanan-tanan na. And then everybody is concerned about activities sa mga clean up sa barangay, panghilamon. In my school, Handumanan, the punishment for offenses committed by students in school, kot-kot buho para butangan basura. Tapos himuo na siya yung compost pit. And then, party na siya permi of the Monday before the flag ceremony, manghilamon man ang tanan. And then growing flowering plants, medicinal plants, kausugid na iyad back in my elementary and high school days. I would attribute it to the emergence of modern things, technology, gadgets, computers. Now this has made our life easier, faster, more convenient. However, we cannot deny the fact that this has also contributed us to the environment becoming polluted, to less concern of people to the environment. In conclusion, I also would like to believe that this pandemic has also contributed something positive, because it has given nature the time to revive, not to rejuvenate, away from people's activities. Somehow, indeed, God has a purpose for everything that happens in our lives.